Hello everyone, my name is Coltum, and today I have a very special video for you guys. As you can tell, I am using a microphone. I wanted to try out the commentary style of video, and if this is something that you enjoy with this video and would like to see moving forward, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also, something else I would like to mention, and which is why this day is very special, is this marks the first video of a series in speedrunning here on my channel. I've always enjoyed speedrunning from game to game, but I had never thought about speedrunning this game up until now. I think this is a very fun way to bring some new competition into the game so far, as really the only means of competition in this game is with the PvP modes and Emporia and Battle Square. So I think this would be a really fun way to get PvE involved, and I hope that you guys enjoy this video. So let's get buffed up. Now, how this is going to work is I have a timer that I'm going to be starting here for you guys. And then right as I'm able to move in the dungeon is when I start it. I will also have my own timer that I start right at the same time so that I can keep you guys updated throughout the game. Zoom out a little bit here, and we'll get this run going. The first thing that I would like to mention is that the monsters in this dungeon have a lot of drops. They drop Essence of Chaos, silver coins, things like that. And I know it's something that'll probably annoy a few of you, but I am not going to be going out of my way to pick those up in this run. Just because of the fact that I'm trying to get the fastest time, and that'll only take more time to do. Now, one of the first things I would also like to say is about this dungeon specifically. So if you don't know this dungeon, this is the final dungeon in the game as we know it right now. And this dungeon composes of 4 mini bosses and 1 bigger boss, which is Destiny. That's why the name is Dungeon of Destiny. What's interesting about this dungeon is the fact that the mini bosses get progressively harder and get more HP as you go. First one starting out at 125 million HP and going up from there. We're going to be entering the first mini boss right now. Something else that I think is worth noting is that item that I just used. It is in my 4 quick slot. There you can see it in the bottom left corner. What that is, it's called Dangerous Embers. It's something that you can farm in the Windia AFK farms. And this is a very, very helpful buff because it gives you just extra damage for a short period of time. And that can be really helpful for things as boss fights, like what I'm doing right now. Now, something that you're going to be seeing throughout this video is I'm going to be using the outskirts of the maps in these boss rooms so that I can do as much damage as possible with my Wood Rush attack. Some of you may or may not know that with ninjas, a lot of their high damage DPS can come from the Wood Rush if you time it correctly and use it correctly in boss fights. So we'll get a very good dash there from Giacomo. And a good spin. Now we can rack up the DPS. Now I played a little bit with the microphone volume in this recording here, and I'm not entirely sure if this is the volume that I want or the volume for the game, so please feel free to let me know in the comments below if you think this is a good volume or not. As I stated, this is my very first video with a commentary style, so I'm getting used to it, that's for sure. Now, in terms of the speedrun itself, something that I would like to mention is that I'm expecting the time to be just around 35 minutes. If I can get a time under that, that would be a very, very awesome time to get on the board. I have not had many attempts with this. I did one attempt before, but the volume on my audio and my mic was just not high enough and you couldn't hear me over the game. So I've changed that this time, and hopefully we can get a good run here. Now, something about this dungeon that makes it kind of difficult at times is when you go around the bends of the map, like I'm just doing right now. You'll see that sometimes when you attack the monsters, they will not take damage. This is a common thing throughout the dungeon, and it's kind of just something that you have to get used to. It's not really all that fun to deal with sometimes, as these monsters can be invincible if you are attacking from the wrong angle. But that's just something to keep in mind. Now, as you can see in the title of this video, I wanted to make this video not only a speedrun attempt in my first speedrun of this dungeon, but I also wanted to make this video as a sort of tips and tricks video, just for being able to get through the dungeon as quick as possible, and kind of a few tips for the people that might have low defense stats or are having trouble with some of the attacks of the bosses in this dungeon. So hopefully I can give light to that in this video for you guys, and you'll be able to do this a little bit more smoothly and in a lot more fun of a way. I've certainly had a lot of deaths throughout my time on this dungeon, and I've learned a lot about it in total, so hopefully I can teach you guys a little bit along the way. Another thing that's worth noting to you guys is the fact that this dungeon, one of the things that makes it so long of a time is the fact that these kind of intersections in between the boss rooms have quite a few monsters, and they take quite a bit of time. As you can see, the monsters are kind of spaced out, and there are some sections where there's just a lot of monsters and it takes a lot of time. Like the section that I'm in right now, I think this room kind of has 150 monsters, something like that, and that is one of the reasons that this dungeon is so long. Usually the boss fights are not too horribly long themselves, but when it's all added together, it certainly does add up. Going into the second boss here, another thing that I would like to mention right away is the fact that this boss and the third boss both have dragon breath attacks. Now, these attacks are very interesting because it can look as if these dragons are shooting this attack right here in one direction, and they can change up in the other direction out of nowhere. Now, this is something that you're just gonna have to learn if they are doing in this game. Hopefully it'll happen one of these times and I can show you guys just what I mean. But it's just another one of those things in this dungeon where it just comes with time. And see, just right there, I got attacked and he shot it to the right and I was on the left. Oh, it happened again. Getting close to death here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my necklace so that I can regenerate HP. This necklace that I just put on is actually really good for doing solo runs on this game, or in this dungeon specifically, because it can regenerate quite a bit of HP for you. Let's say you're not a sorcerer or an invoker and you can't really use healing skills to heal. It's actually a very good option to heal, and you're just suffering a little bit of damage when putting it on because of the other earring that you would have. Now that did set us back quite a bit. I assume we're going to be losing about 30 seconds or something like that because of having to put on the other earring there. But it shouldn't be all that big of an issue for the entire run. We got a really, really good amount of DPS there with that wood rush. That was really nice. Alright, that is the second boss done, and currently we are 11 minutes and 28 seconds in. I would say this is a pretty good time. Usually, I would say around the 15-minute mark would be right in the middle of the third boss, so we're making pretty good time right now. Something else too that I would like for you guys to ponder is that just because I am making this solo Dungeon of Destiny run here right now, I can actually continue to go for this speed run and try to get a faster time if that's what you guys wanted to see. I do have a few other dungeons and videos coming up that I'm going to be speedrunning, especially bringing some people along. So if you guys want to see this dungeon again and want me to try to get a faster time than I'm going to get today, then please do let me know and we can make this a common theme throughout the channel. Now don't be worried because I have a lot of different videos that I have planned. I am not solely going to be doing speedruns here on this channel, but it is just one of those things that I thought would be a pretty fun addition and something that I would thoroughly enjoy doing. Alright, getting into the third boss here. And that is his fire breath attack, which is certainly his scariest attack and can kill people with pretty low defenses. It is also the attack that I was mentioning earlier, which is a little buggy, and sometimes he can quickly turn his body in a way that it can attack you when it looks like it shouldn't be. Alright, we got him up to the back corner here. Hopefully we can get the wood rush going, and we should be able to get it right now. So as I stated before, this is just a really, really good way for ninjas to get extra damage, is to push the boss, or get the boss to move up against the very back wall, so that you can do the most amount of damage possible. Alright, let's get another wood rush going here. Also, something else I would like to mention to you guys is if you're first starting out in the game and you're wondering what you can do to make the most of what you have from the beginning, the note that I would give, or the tip that I would give for that, would be to find a guild with someone who has a good house buff. So these home buffs are very, very, very good and strong for the players that are not as geared, because they can give various buffs, and one of the best ones being a final crit rate of 4% increase. So this is, again, very helpful for all points of the game, and it's something that I would certainly try to get into. And also, it's just really nice to have a guild where you can ask questions and confer with other guild members, so that you're not ever stuck throughout the game. It looks like I'll have to buff up back again here so I can get the most damage. Shouldn't be a problem. See, as you can see, I used an entire attack on that monster and he took absolutely 0 damage just because of the angle that I was on that curve, which can be very annoying sometimes, but it's kind of just something you have to get used to, like I said. Now with this next boss coming up, one of the things that I would like to mention right away is the fact that this boss, which is the hardest mini-boss of the entire dungeon, he has a skill where he can heal once he hits below 50% HP. And that is one of the things that is the biggest issue for this speedrun, because if you get a Belkin, or Taiphoon is what his name is, who heals quite a few times, this can really tax your run, and it can add quite a lot of time. So hopefully we can get a good heal amount here, and he won't heal up all that much. Again, I really hope that the volume of my mic is quite good for this recording. I have no way to tell at the moment with game sounds, so I hope that you guys can hear me pretty well. Okay, looks like he is healed once. Hopefully he won't heal many more times after that, as it really can add the time. Because as you could see, he healed about 10% of his max HP. Alright, looks like we're gonna get the kill here. One heal is not all that bad. So I am pretty satisfied with that time, and it looks like we have just hit exactly 20 minutes on this run so far. I would say that is a very, very good time for the first 4 mini-bosses, and hopefully we can keep it going. Now from this point forward, there is not a lot of RNG left in this fight. As I stated before, the biggest RNG moment for this entire dungeon is with that final mini-boss, just depending on if you can get a low amount of heals or not. Because with this final boss, he's pretty straightforward, and there isn't a lot of things that'll save you time or that'll add time, except for a few minor things, but that is also something to keep in mind here. Alright, getting into the boss now. Now, if you do not know this boss fight, I will briefly explain kind of how it works and what to expect going into it. Now, as you can see, there is a blue HP bar on the boss at the very moment. And what that is a shield that you have to break with these red skills that I'm using that you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. Now, once you take this out, you will be able to do 25% of the boss's full HP before he puts up his shield again, and you must break it again. So this will happen 4 times throughout the fight, and that's something to keep note of. Also, something that you guys might notice is that when he does that specific shout attack, there is a way that you can dodge it every time so that you do not take any damage from it. Now, what I like to do when he does this attack is I like to wait until he is at the point of he kind of leans back a little bit just before the attack. Hopefully he'll do it again so that I can show you guys kind of what I mean with it. So he's doing it here again. So once he leans back, you jump. And if you don't move, then you should be able to dodge the attack entirely. This is something that can be really useful for you guys if you have low defenses, or you just want to minimize the amount of hits that you are taking. Another way that you can do that is by making sure that you are making use of the other 2 skills that you get from this final job. You can see in the left side there are 2 green skills in that tree. Those 2 skills can be very, very helpful with blocking the attacks that this dragon, or blocking the attacks of anyone in this dungeon or anywhere in the game. So if you are a kind of newer player and you're just trying to complete the dungeon, or if you're really just trying to stay alive, those 2 skills are going to be very useful for you, as you can actually do this entire boss fight without taking any damage if you do it correctly, and make sure to dodge all of his attacks. Now at this point, I think I am going to be switching out the earrings that I put on before, just because I am not really afraid of dying at this point in the fight. This boss really does not do a very large amount of damage when you have pretty high defenses and pretty good HP. So I think I'll be switching out to the other earrings that give me a little more damage so that I can make this fight a little bit faster. Alright, so we have taken out his HP bar now, so he is back shielded up. There we go. Oh. Okay, so we are sitting at 25 minutes right now. This is a decent time. Hopefully we can continue through this boss fight and get it going so that we can get a good time at the end. As I stated before, I think a pretty good time for this fight would be around 35 minutes, so I'm hoping to be around there toward the end of it. Okay, looks like I just dodged that one that was getting pretty close there. He has not quite gotten his, okay, he's got his HP back, and now we can hit him again. Now the reason that I said you can go throughout this entire boss fight without getting hit once is because there are just about all of his attacks are ones that you can dodge physically. So like this attack here and his swipe attack and his beam attack. You can dodge all of those just by, you know, running away or being in a different position on the map. Now there is one attack that he does which you cannot dodge, and that is this attack right here. Now that attack, no matter where you are on the boss arena, you cannot dodge it. And that's why I say those green scale attacks come in handy very much, because those you can use for once he does use those attacks, because he does not really use them all that often, and if you stay fortunate like that, you can go through this entire fight without getting hit. So we're just about halfway through here. Now the way that this speedrun is going to work is, I think, a really good way to keep the times around the same is to make sure that when you are starting your time is right as you enter the dungeon, right after loading in. And then to end the time is when Destiny, his life, hits 0%, or he dies. I think this is a really good way to keep the times consistent for loading reasons and for reasons just in general. That'll make the most reasonable time, and it'll make the most sense. All right, so that was kind of unfortunate to get hit by that. You really do not want to get hit when he does that attack because it can confuse you for quite a bit of time, and this can add time to your run for sure. But that's why I say that if you guys want to see me do this again, I would be very happy to do so because I'm sure that I can get an even faster time than what I'm going to get today. But this is obviously going to be a pretty good time, and I'm going to be pretty satisfied with it, I'm hoping, if things continue to go well. We have just hit the 30-minute mark. So hopefully, like I said, if we can get a time around 35 minutes, that would be best case scenario. Now, something else I would like to mention with speedrunning this boss or this dungeon in general is that all of the characters are gonna have a different time, just because they have different skills, different attack multipliers. Just they're gonna have very different times because some classes are going to be able to complete this dungeon faster than others. So I think with speedrunning this, you could certainly take that into account and make light of which classes has what time and stuff, just to keep it consistent. Ooh, looks like I messed that one up. That's kind of pretty unfortunate. Alright. Looks like I will have to use my buffs again, so right as I take out his... Actually, I'll do it right now. I'll buff up there. Alright, looks like we're going to take out the shield with one more volley of the Paris skill, and then we should be good to go to take him out. Oh, just a little bit more. Not a problem. Just dodged that one. That was kind of scary. I'm living on the edge right now. Now, as you guys can see, I'm not really perfect with the timing on this shout attack. It's just something that you're gonna have to play around with and see what time to jump is best for you. I've run this dungeon many times, and I'm certainly not perfect at it, so it will take some time, but once you get it down, it certainly can be helpful to mitigate the amount of hits and damage that you're taking from the boss. Alright, we're getting down now. He's at 5% HP. When he hits 0, I will go and stop the time on my computer so that you guys can see it. We're getting really close. Alright, and stop the time. Looks like we have just hit 34 minutes. So we couldn't get a sub 34, but 34 minutes, that is a pretty good time. I'm pretty satisfied with that. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments below. As I said, this is my very first commentary style video on my channel. So please do let me know if you enjoy it or if it excites you in any way. Um, so yeah, I just thought this would be a really fun video to try out and a fun way to bring a new light to this game. So again, thank you guys for watching. It's been a very big pleasure to do this video for you guys. So my final time is 34 minutes and 1 second and 87 milliseconds. So I think it'd be a lot of fun if we could make this a sort of competition in the community. Just because there's not a lot of competition in PvE right now, and I think this would be a very fun way to do that. So, thank you guys again for watching. Please like the video and comment and share. Peace.